making slow cooker side dishes perfect for busy days, parties, or any day you just don't feel like babysitting the stove. Let's get to it. First recipe we're making is actually a favorite. We are making slow cooker baked potatoes. You're going to start out by washing your russet potatoes. I'm using about 5 russet potatoes. Bring them over to your slow cooker and add them right in there. The first time I actually shared this baked potato recipe in the slow cooker, I got some mixed opinions. A lot of people were like, why would you bake potatoes in your slow cooker? Well, if you're only doing a couple potatoes at night, it probably just doesn't make sense to do it in your slow cooker. But if you're making a large amount of baked potatoes for like a party, gathering, if you're having anybody over at your house and you just need a lot of baked potatoes, cooking them in the slow cooker is a total game changer. Now I'm adding in about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then over the top of the oil, I am using a little bit of garlic salt. I've just loved the garlic salt taste for these slow cooker baked potatoes. The last thing I'm adding in is 1/3 cup of water, just to add a little bit of moisture. Put the lid on top. Cook this for like 6 to 8 hours or until your potatoes are like buttery soft. Baked potatoes in the slow cooker, woo! These are through cooking. I like to sprinkle that garlic salt on the outside of them, as you see right there, because it just gives the outside of the potatoes a lot more flavor. And I'm the type of person that likes to eat the skin on my baked potatoes. But just open your potato up after you're through cooking it. You could fill these with chili. I have done that in the past. You could do like buffalo chicken potatoes. I've also done that in the past. Really any type of baked potato that you like, do it. There's no rules with baked potatoes, but today I'm doing butter, cheese, a little bit of cooked crumbled bacon, sliced green onions, and a dollop of sour cream. And then of course you can't forget the pepper and salt with the baked potato. And there you go. You have the creamiest baked potatoes just made in your slow cooker, and you can make a massive amount of baked potatoes in your slow cooker. So if you don't want to heat up your oven and have your baked potatoes cook for hours in your oven, and if you just want to like leave the house and have your potatoes cooking, this is my favorite way to make baked potatoes. They're so creamy and delicious. Don't knock this recipe till you try it. Now we're making my favorite slow cooker baked beans. For this recipe, you will need a yellow onion, and then you'll also need 1/2 cup of ketchup, 1/4 cup of molasses, just trust me, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 tablespoon of yellow mustard. You'll need bacon. I'm using about 1 cup of pre-cooked crumbled bacon. You could cook up your bacon on your own if you'd like. You'll also need a can of drained and rinsed kidney beans, a can of drained and rinsed pinto beans, along with your cannellini beans. You will need barbecue sauce. I actually really like the Great Value barbecue sauce. I think it has amazing flavor and it's really cheap. Next, you'll need Worcestershire sauce. I know I said that wrong, but right into your slow cooker, go ahead and add your yellow onion into your slow cooker. Just dice it up. Next, add in your molasses. If you want to go crazy with this recipe, you could cook up fresh bacon, and then once your bacon is cooked, you could crumble it up and then add the onion into the like bacon grease that's like cooking in your pan on the stove. Anyway, so I added in my onion, molasses, and my ketchup. Next, add in your brown sugar. If you cook the onion on the stove with your bacon, that will of course give your onion and bacon more flavor. I added in my bacon, my mustard. Next, add in your beans. You could really use any beans you'd like for this recipe. These are just good pantry staple beans. Now I'm adding in my barbecue sauce. I like to go heavy on that. Then add in your W sauce. Give this a little stir. This one is great for get-togethers. If somebody asks you to bring a side dish, this tastes like homemade, way better than any of those canned beans that you'll buy at the store. Also, this is a large amount of beans, so perfect for a larger amount of people. Give this a stir. This is already smelling amazing, and it's not even cooked yet. But let this cook on low for about 5 hours. Our baked beans are finished cooking, and oh boy, they smell good. The onion softened beautifully. I am just going to plate them up now. Ooh, the bacon bits in there look so delicious. I basically just threw ingredients into the slow cooker for these baked beans, just set the timer, and it did all the work for me. I have made so many slow cooker dinner videos on my channel. I have never made a slow cooker sides video. So you're getting all the best slow cooker sides today. I can't wait to try these beans. These are the beans that everybody's going to be asking for your recipe if you bring them to a gathering or a party. These are incredible. They taste a billion times better than like the canned beans. You basically dump ingredients into your slow cooker and go. Easiest baked bean recipe, but it's seriously the best. Now we are making slow cooker macaroni and cheese. So to begin, I have 1 pound of elbow pasta. I'm using elbows for this recipe. And this might seem a little different, but add your elbows right into a strainer, and I'm going to rinse the elbows with cold water. So this helps remove some of the starch and just make it so the pasta doesn't get gummy and like stick together while it's slow cooking. So bring it over to your slow cooker now. And you will spray your slow cooker with a little bit of non-stick spray that a sweet subscriber sent me. But add your pasta right in there. And now you're going to basically add in everything else. So I have a 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. I'm just using the Walmart brand. Next, I'm adding in my 2.5 cups of regular whole milk, or you could do like 2% or 1% milk. I just typically do whole milk for this recipe. I'm adding in my salt now, along with my pepper, garlic powder, and I'm adding in mustard powder. The mustard powder, it does not give it like a mustard taste. It just gives it like a little burst of flavor. It's really good. Now add in your cheeses. So I'm adding in 1 cup of Monterey Jack cheese, along with my 3 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Give this a little stir. Give it a little stir-zy, and then you are going to kind of spread it out. So it's basically covered in that liquid. Then over the top, add 1/4 cup of sliced butter. Then you're going to cook this on low for about 1 to 2 hours, or until your pasta is tender and it's like super cheesy. You don't want to cook it too long because it really is easy to overcook pasta in the slow cooker. Just 1 to 2 hours, and then you have a large amount of mac and cheese ready to eat. My mac and cheese is finished slow cooking. Oh boy, that looks good. So give this a little bit of a stir. Oh, look at this, it is so cheesy. I'm excited to take a bite. The flavor is absolutely delicious. The mac and cheese, rinsing it first is just, you have to do it just to get that like good noodle texture. I'll be honest, I overcooked mine for a half an hour to an hour too long. Still tastes absolutely delicious. You have to give this one a try. Now we're making my favorite baked loaded queso. I typically make this over the stove and then in the oven, but we're doing it in the slow cooker today. So to a pan on the stove, add in about 1 pound of ground beef, or you could use any ground meat. Just break it up and cook it through. Like I was saying, I do typically do this in the oven, but doing it in the slow cooker is an amazing way to do it if you're bringing it to a gathering, party, or anything of that nature. But this recipe is also in my new cookbook called Make It Simple. It's on page 48, and you'll find it in the sides and appetizers section. In my slow cooker, it shows you how to do it in the oven, but I'm showing you how to do it in the slow cooker today. Either way will work. Basically the same steps you do for either way, just one in the slow cooker, one in the oven. Now that my ground beef is cooked through, this isn't a super fatty ground beef, so I didn't really have to remove any grease, but if your ground beef is on the fattier side, just remove any excess grease from your pan. Just add it right into your slow cooker. I am going to spray the sides of my slow cooker just with a little bit of oil spray, because we all know that cheese gets sticky. But I added my beef in there. Next, I'm adding in my jalapeno peppers. This is 4 ounces of that. You could use diced green chilies if you prefer. Next, 10 ounces of diced tomatoes with green chilies. This is basically a cheap version of a can of Rotel, just a store name brand. Next, I'm adding in 4 ounces of cubed Velveeta cheese just to make it a little bit silky and smooth. 2 cups of Fiesta blend cheese, or any like Mexican style cheese, and then 8 ounces of cubed cream cheese. Then you are going to add in your taco seasoning. You could add more or less depending on how flavorful you want it. Now this is my little trick. I like to add in between 1/4 to 1/3 cup of heavy cream, and this makes it like extra rich and creamy. This is like the silkiest, most delicious queso. You have your ground beef in there, which adds like protein, so basically a complete meal. After you give this a little stir, throw the lid over the top and then cook this on low for about 2 to 3 hours. You can stir it occasionally while it's cooking just to make the cheese extra cheesy. Dip some chips in, it's good. This one just finished slow cooking. Whoa, this one smells so good. So after it's through slow cooking, just take a whisk and whisk this. I know it's not gonna look pretty in the beginning, but just trust me, whisk this super duper well. Now that it's like silky and smooth like this, I am just going to plate it up and try some. It is good. I don't want to burn my tongue. Whoa. That is so good. Okay. You have a little bit of kick in there from like the jalapenos. This is bursting with so much flavor. You could do this with ground beef like I did. You don't have to add meat to this if you don't want to add meat. Or you could do like sausage. That would give it so much flavor as well. Basically do nothing for this recipe and it turns out delicious. The next recipe we are making, I don't even know if you'd call this a recipe, is slow cooker corn on the cob. I am using frozen corn just because it's not really corn season here in Utah. This is frozen corn that is like halved. So 3 ears of corn, but just cut in half. But I just added in 2/3 cup of water. This is going to cook on low for 2 hours. I'm just doing 3 ears today, but if you want to do like 6 or 8 ears of corn, use a larger slow cooker, and it's perfect for like family gatherings, parties. Anytime you have to make a large amount of corn, do it in your slow cooker. It'll save you time. With this corn, you could basically do anything with it once it's through cooking. You could like cut it up and you could make like creamed corn. You could really do anything, but I'm just pouring a little butter over the top because butter and corn just go hand in hand. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of pepper, and there you go. This is why I own a slow cooker, for simple recipes like this. This slow cooker corn makes for the perfect side dish. I just plated it up. It looks beautiful, easy to cook, and it just comes out so juicy. It's perfection in the slow cooker. Now we're making this slow cooker Cracker Barrel hash brown casserole. This is comfort food to the max. It makes for the perfect side dish, or you could do it for like breakfast. It is good. I have a 1/2 cup of melted butter right here. I have 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. This is just a great little thickening mixture I'm making. It's just going to help thicken it up a little bit and give it that Cracker Barrel texture. Give this a stir. As you see, the flour will just melt into that butter and it will become smooth. You just want to stir it until it is smooth. You don't want it to be clumpy. But now that it looks like this, I'm going to set it to the side. And in this bowl, you are going to add in 1 onion. You just want to dice the onion up, so just add your diced onion. Now add in your sour cream. You could use more or less sour cream, and if you want to do this like a little bit like lower fat, you don't have to add in sour cream. You could add in plain Greek yogurt. I'm using about, you could use between 14 to 16 ounces of sour cream. Next, I'm adding in cream of soup. I'm using cream of chicken soup. Any cream of soup will do. And if you have either of my cookbooks, I do have homemade variations of cream of soups in the back of the books. Next, I'm adding in 16 ounces of diced ham. If you want to do this without ham, of course, you don't have to add the ham in, but the ham does add a little bit of protein, so it makes it great for like breakfast. And then it also just adds like delicious, rich flavor. So I do like adding the ham in. Next, I'm adding in about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, and then add in a little dash of pepper. Give this a good stir. You want the sour cream, cream of soup, and ham. You just want everything mixed together. The last time I made this was actually a couple years ago for a holiday breakfast. So this is great for like Christmas morning breakfast, Easter morning breakfast, or any side dish. So if you're asked to bring a potato side dish, this is a great option. Next, I'm adding in my 30 ounces of shredded hash browns, or you could use diced hash browns. Holy moly, I might be overfilling the bowl. Oh well, that's okay. Let's give this a stir. You want those hash browns coated in that creamy mixture. Grab your slow cooker. I'm spraying it with nonstick spray. Add your hash brown mixture right into your slow cooker. And since my bowl was clearly a little bit too small, I am going to give this an additional little stir in here just to get all those hash browns coated. This is smelling so good. It smells like comfort food to the max, in my opinion. So spread the top out. You want the top to be flat. And then over the top, you could add additional cheese. This is just going to make it pretty in the end, adding cheese over the top. It's just going to give it that like traditional casserole look. And then you'll also grab your butter flour mixture and then just drizzle this all over the top. This will cook on low for about 5 to 6 hours, or you could cook it on high for 3 hours. This hash brown casserole looks so good. I just got hash brown casserole facial. I'm going to scoop this up and plate it up. Oh, this one is a good one. Whether you have it for breakfast, side dish, or even a simple dinner, it's amazing. I wish you were here in person to try this. It smells absolutely delicious. I know your whole family will love it. Now we are making slow cooker mashed potatoes. If you don't make your mashed potatoes in your slow cooker when you need a large amount of mashed potatoes, you need to start doing it today. I have about 5 pounds of russet potatoes right here. Some of my potatoes are having baby potatoes, but that is okay. And you're just going to want to peel the potatoes. If you prefer your mashed potatoes with skin on, of course you could leave the skin on. But after you're through peeling your potatoes, you do want to cube them into smaller pieces. Making mashed potatoes like this in the slow cooker is kind of like a secret weapon. That's what I like to think about slow cooker mashed potatoes, just because you can make so many mashed potatoes at one time. You free up your stove space and then you just let them cook all day, mash them up in the evening, and you have creamy, silky potatoes that are just as good as cooking them anywhere else. Okay, done peeling potatoes. That only took me 10 years. I'm going to throw the peels in the trash, and then I am going to rinse the potatoes and kind of cut them into like cubes. You want to cut them into smaller cubes. Of course, if you want to cook your potatoes a lot quicker, dice them into like super small cubes, but I'm just going to cut them into like bite-sized cubes. Now I'm just cubing up my potatoes, and then you're going to add them right into your slow cooker. If you want to make this into a loaded twice baked potato casserole, you could do that so easily with this recipe. I love making twice baked potato casserole. It's probably like one of my top side dishes. So all you have to do is add your potatoes in, cook them, mash them up, and then for the loaded part, simply just add in your milk, cheese, add in your chives or green onions, your bacon, and then you have like an entire large side dish being the loaded twice baked potatoes. Now I'm adding in my 1 cup of chicken broth, or you could use veggie broth or water. The chicken broth gives it a little salty added flavor. Now I'm going to cook this on low for about 7 to 8 hours, or you could cook it on high for about 3 hours. All you have to do with your mashed potatoes, well, I guess I shouldn't call them mashed potato yet because they're not mashed, but after they're finished cooking, just mash up your potatoes. I'm doing it with an electric hand mixer to make it a lot easier, but you can mash them up with really anything you want. Now that my potatoes are basically like mashed up a little bit, I'm adding in my milk. I'm using about 3/4 cup. You could use between 1/2 to 1 cup of milk, depending on how much milk you want to add in and how smooth you want it versus like how creamy or how thick you want it. Now I'm adding in my butter. I'm using 1/2 cup of sliced butter. You could use more, less butter, and then my salt and pepper. Of course, if you want to add in chives, you could add in chives. You could add in bacon bits. Add in anything you want right now. You could add in sour cream, cheese. That's the nice thing about making these in your slow cooker. You set it, you forget it. You don't even remember that you're doing it halfway through the day because it's just cooking itself. And then you just have a delicious meal that you just throw a couple ingredients into, and there you go, the most delicious mashed potatoes. Here's what it looks like plated up. I could basically eat all of these mashed potatoes in one sitting just because I love mashed potatoes, but these are creamy, delicious mashed potatoes. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video like this. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.